Hello, everyone. Our presentation is on communication of marine animals with Alex, Cynthia, and Kiara.
Hi guys, I'm Cynthia and I'm going to be talking about the dolphins. So, dolphins communicate with the use of their nasal cavity, brain, jaw, and teeth. Types of communication within dolphins is going to be the use of their body language, burst pulse sounds, whistles, and chirps. Dolphins communicate using a variety of sounds and nonverbal gestures. As I mentioned, verbal gestures are going to be the whistles and chirps, as I also mentioned, and these sounds are generated from air sacs under the blowhole. Dolphins do not have vocal cords, so they use their nasal cavities, and their melon produces these clicks and sounds in the water. These clicks travel through the water and bounce off objects and are registered in the dolphin's jaw and teeth. The echoes are then passed into the middle of the ear and interpreted by the dolphin's brain. Next, I'll be showing a video of the dolphin's clicks and whistles. Next, I'm going to be talking about the whales. The whales are very similar to dolphins. They make the clicks and whistles and pulse calls. Whales are very social and make a variety of noises. These pulse calls sound like squeaks and screams to the human ear. However, to whales, they differentiate whales within their pod. The sounds are made by air through the right nasal passage to the monkey lip, which claps shut. The click then bounces off an air-filled sac and travels back into the splumenta organ. And then I'm going to be showing a video of the sounds that whales make.
The humpback song can be 20 minutes long, and they repeat the same song again and again. Males in one region will all sing the same song the same way, but next year they'll return with a new composition.
Now I'm going to be talking about sharks. Sharks communicate with their body. They do movements such as open their jaws, nod their heads, and arch their bodies. I read that they can produce sounds, however have no vocalization because they lack a necessary organ to emit sound from their throat, so technically they can't make these sounds. Sharks also feel vibrations using a special organ called the lateral line.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm here to talk to y'all about a fish that I am super excited about, the grouper. Now, the grouper communicates in a number of different ways. For example, it talks to its fellow grouper. Now, the grouper can change its pigment from light to dark and back to light again, depending on what it wants to communicate. So sometimes it'll communicate to other grouper that there's food around, or that this is their territory, or sometimes they just want to show off their fitness. Can anyone tell me what grouper this one is in the slide? If y'all said Queensland grouper, that's the correct grouper. On my next slide is an example of how grouper can change from lighter to darker and back to lighter. But they also can communicate with other species. The Queensland grouper will chase prey, sometimes into rocks where the grouper might not be able to get to. So they will point out where the fish is and shimmy near a moray eel. And that's their way of saying, look, I found some food for us. When the moray eel gets in the crevice to go eat the fish, sometimes the moray eel will catch the fish and the moray eel will get the dinner. But sometimes the prey might try and escape and run away, and the grouper can get the meal instead. So it's a good relationship for both of them to be able to get a possible meal. Next, we have my friend, the flashlight fish. The flashlight fish has a symbiotic relationship with a fluorescent bacteria that glows. The flashlight fish can show or not show the bacteria to make a small bluish light source. These fish live in caves or semi-deep waters where light is super important. There's not always a rock to hide behind, and there's not always a home to go to when you're out in the deep, dark, vast ocean. So these fish like to use their light for all sorts of number of things. Like sometimes they can confuse predators by flashing at them and running away. Sometimes they try and look forward to see if they can find prey or other things to eat. And sometimes they just have to find each other. But these fish aren't studied as much, so science doesn't know the exact reason why these fish might glow in certain ways. So I would like to ask you all a question while we show the next video of why maybe some of these flashlight fish flash. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to communicate? All right, if everyone has any guesses now on how the flashlight fish use their flash, please let me know. I would love to hear what y'all have to say.
Next, we'll be talking about stingrays. Stingrays communicate mainly by physical touch with one another, but they also use pheromones, biting, and clicking noises to communicate. During these acts, they use their noses, tails, and spiracles. Stingrays naturally school or move around together. That's why they mainly use body language like brushing up against each other most of the time. They are also known to bite each other with their barbed tails as a sign to mate. This happens by a male biting female, but it doesn't always lead to mating. Stingrays have a profound sense of smell and smell pheromones during mating season. Stingrays also use their spiracles, the two open holes on top of their head, to dig under dirt and still be able to breathe, but they can also be used to ward off predators by making clicking noises, as shown in this next video. Next, we'll be talking about seals. Seals communicate by calls, whistles, and clapping. They achieve this by the use of their external ear openings, vocal cords, larynx, mouth cavities, and pectoral flippers. Seals, just like humans, can make vocalizations with their vocal cords. Seals often clap underwater during mating season to grab attention from potential mates. The pups or baby seals are known to vocalize more than to their mothers for safety purposes, like locating one another. As they get older, seals can vocalize underwater to mate, or when they're above water, they use these communication styles to respond to threats from other seals. In this next video, you can see how a pup calls out.
Thank everyone so much for watching and listening to our presentation. I hope everyone liked it, and if there's any comments or questions, please reach out to us for further conversation. We would love to hear